After losing 4 games in a row, with the 2-seeded Thunder next up on their schedule, the Lakers made a key adjustment. Instead of starting D'Angelo Russell, they moved him to the bench for Jared Vanderbilt, creating this supersized lineup of versatile forwards, which of course left LeBron James at the point. Traditionally, that means lots of spread pick and roll. He'll turn the corner off a screen and apply some downhill pressure, where he's had more than enough time to see quite literally every single coverage you can think of, so he'll probably make the right read to get his team an open shot. The problem with this opening lineup though is that it sacrifices some shooting. So on a play like this where the big's in a drop, with help from one pass away sitting at the nail to tag the roller, while a kick out to the open shooter is the obvious decision, it's not always going to punish the more paint-oriented coverage. Thankfully, Bron and AD are just so good that it doesn't always matter. In the case of Davis, it's his in-between game. The defense may do a good job of shutting off the paint, but he's effective enough going over the top to still get a good shot off. And in the case of Bron, it's the fact that sometimes it doesn't matter how many defenders you put in between him and the basket, he'll drive and finish over, around, or through anyone at the rim. The benefits of having capable shooters to kick it out to really stand out on a play like this though, where Dort gets taken out of the play by the screen, turning the possession into a quick 5-on-4. Chet picks up the ball, leaving AD open for the shovel pass, which draws in Case and Wallace from the corner. With pretty much every OKC defender touching the paint in some capacity, Rui Hachimura is left on an island, and capitalizes for 3 points. The luxury of having knockdown shooters on the floor isn't always there though, and definitely wasn't in the Lakers' new starting 5, so they had to find ways to create space. One way they did that was by running the ball through AD away from the paint. They opened the game with a corner dribble handoff for Bron, and notice how they cleared out that side of the floor so that there's no immediate help at the nail. That way when he attacks the middle, he's able to get downhill and all the way to the rim. He doesn't convert, but because Chet had to contest, there's nobody in position to keep Davis off the glass. The most valuable part about running the offense through AD up top is that it stretches Chet. The Thunder don't run a lineup of multiple rim protectors, so when he's not in the paint, it's really vulnerable. And when Bron frees up on a cut, all they can do to save 2 points is foul. Here's another example. It starts with AD in the post and he draws a quick double. He finds Cam Reddish on a cut, and from this frame right here, you'll see that Chet's not in position to rotate down with just 3 guards protecting the basket. That's never gonna cut it against LeBron James. The Lakers actually had Davis bringing the ball up and initiating for a large chunk of this game, so that they could start possessions with Chet at the top of the key. Now when they enter the ball to LeBron in the mid-post, it's Jalen Williams who's coming over to help. With just a quick up fake, Bron's got himself another easy 2. AD at the point also allows him to attack in space. Here they reverse the pick and roll by having LeBron screen, and he's going to reject it to force Chet into a backpedal. From there, the weight room takes care of the rest. Another way the Lakers were able to combat a lack of outside shooting in these lineups was by playing with pace. That way the defense isn't able to properly set and prioritize the paint. And even at age 38, it's nearly impossible to stop Bron from getting to the rim in transition. Threat number 1 is that downhill battering ram, but if the defense starts to bring in help or sits an extra defender in his lane, that just leaves them vulnerable to his all-time great passing. And if they completely commit to building a wall in an effort to keep him as far away as possible, he's got no problem stepping into pull-up threes. As effective as these fast breaks are though, they're even more dangerous with better shooters surrounding him, and that's because of how his drives pull in the defense. With D'Angelo Russell by his side, it's a lot harder to bring in an extra defender or two. And although Taurean Prince isn't necessarily known for his shooting, he's been at about 38% over the past 2 seasons, so he's another guy who can knock it down when the opportunity comes. Here's what it looks like when LeBron isn't met with those helping defenders. Shea, the league's leader in steals by a landslide, attempts to make a play on the ball, but to no avail as James just throws him into the baseline. More shooting on the floor also makes a noticeable difference for Bron's game in the half court. Here you're going to see him inbound the ball and get it right back on a handoff. Vanderbilt isn't much of an outside threat at all, so they're comfortable leaving him open to protect the rim. But D'Angelo Russell's a great shooter, so Jalen Williams doesn't make any attempt to help from one pass away. That leaves Bron with all the space in the world to hit a midi. Here's a real similar play that starts with a handoff, and notice how they have Chet on Vando so that he's always in position to rotate down without giving up a quality three. Again, it's D'Lo being one pass away that makes the difference though, because as soon as Dort slides down to tag the roll, there's enough space for him to comfortably step into 3 points. It's not just the shooting though. Getting more ball handlers on the floor adds more diversity to the attack. Like here, instead of setting it up himself, Bron's gonna move it to D'Lo and get into some double screen action. Prince is a threat to shoot, and Dort doesn't want to leave Bron, so D'Lo's able to get all the way to the cup for 2. This next play really highlights the versatility of LeBron and the flexibility that comes with having a second ball handler on the floor. It starts with a high pick and roll, but the Thunder do a great job of mitigating any advantages. So he's going to kick it out to Austin Reeves and start a second pick and roll, this time as the screener. And Reeves gets into the lane where he finds Cam Reddish on a lob. For all of these reasons, after already establishing a comfortable lead, the Lakers threw out their best possible offensive lineup in an effort to put the game out of reach in quarter number 4. You've got Reeves and D'Lo in the backcourt, both ball handlers who can shoot, next to a front court of Prince, Bron, and AD. The Thunder tried countering by throwing out a zone, but the skill was just too much, attacking decisively and making the right plays. Eventually, Russell subbed out for Rui, and from there it all ran through Bron in the middle. After getting a switch, he attacks in isolation, and that's just way too easy. He made a living out of switch hunting to close out this game. Notice how he waves off Davis and calls for Reeves to screen instead, and that's so he can get Shea on him. From there, he creates a driving lane where Dort once again picks him up, but now that he's already built some downhill momentum, he's able to create some separation with a bump, setting up a tough floater. Next time down, he again got the switch onto Shea, and he's gonna isolate from a standstill. With a couple jab steps, he threatens a drive before pulling the trigger from deep, and it was just one of those nights. He shot 5 of 5 from 3, which included a wide variety of pull-ups, quick hitters away from the ball, open spot-ups. He was feeling it, and that's probably why he ended with 47-7 on 83.5% true shooting. The Lakers' offense was cooking after starting a lineup that seemed to be geared more towards defense. Either way, they were able to end the losing streak against one of the league's best teams, and it'll be interesting to see if they stick with this rotation moving forward. LeBron James back to playing point guard. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this game. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.